Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classic Lesson Known Classics. This is episode number 3309, Doubleshot number 3203. Good amount of issues this one. We're going to be discussing issues 59 to 62 and 64 to 70, along with two announcements for Legion. We're also going to be discussing Rebels number 0. Valor 1921, along with the last 10 issues of Power Company. You're like, that's a lot of comics. Here's what happens. So, in the case of from 58 to 62, actually more like 58 to 60, these are the last issues written by Mark Waid and Barry Kitson. For the last 10 issues of the book, it's written by Tennessee Peyer. Tennessee Peyer has a weird... The whole thing with the last year of this book, it is mostly put just set up for the relaunch. That's what it's pretty much here for. It was relaunched as Rebels. So, in the last few issues done by Barry Kitson and Mark Waid, mostly put in the case of issue 59... This is an issue where it focuses on the character of FaZe, and she's the primary focus character of this issue. No Valor or Doc this issue, just basically her on her own. Docs is here, but he is not a primary focus character. But they do something really weird here. I thought it was Tennessee Peyer. I almost forgot. This was established right here with this very issue, where, get this, Doc's son talks normally and intelligently, and after the brief scene they have here of Doc talking to his child, by the way, he later basically named himself Loxo after Lyra's late mother, because apparently, according to him, this is something his mom Stealth basically wanted to do, but she apparently waited. Here's the thing: this kid is almost a year old and no name. I'm like, Stealth, I get the fact that your child with Docs, but why the heck would you not name this frickin' baby? Also, he spends a lot of time floating around. At one point, he has to deny in front of his mother he can actually talk intelligently, until a little bit later because he wants to act like a normal baby. Yeah, and at one point, Doc tried to take control of the situation, but nope. Stealth's like, nope, I can handle it, nope. It's basically bickering between the two of them, and there's stuff going on with FaZe and one other character here. We have Stealth and her group basically coming along, and then we're leading to issue 60 of the book, which I believe this is the final issue done by Barry Kitson and Mark Waid, called Final Phase. Well, it continues the plot from the last issue with the whole thing of the missing children here. By the way, these last two issues come right after the crossover Trinity. Yep. And mostly we have one of the characters trying to close with one another, but it's not really follow-up here per se. And then it's the end. And then with issue 61, Tennessee Peyer takes over the book. Yep, and he's the writer for the last 10 issues of this book. And the reason for it, don't really know. So this is where Doc's son basically at first denies the fact that he actually be intelligently until a little bit later. When, of course, basically, then we have Lobo here, who was actually absent for the last couple issues. Yeah. Doc's is drawn here really weirdly. Yeah, that's the artist for you. He basically made his face a bit chunky. The artist for this issue is Arne Jorgensen. Mostly put, it's just Lobo returning after 2-issue absence. Him just doing heck he wants, basically flying on his space motorcycle. By the way, he was having a solo book at the same period of time these issues were coming out. I was reading the time, but I can tell by publication date. So yeah, he has his own solo book, so he doesn't really appear very much. But his solo book, I've read it. It is one of the most bizarre sci-fi books I've ever read. Yeah, it's so weird. And Lobo helps out, basically viral docs. And move on to issue 62. 60 you're skipping over purely because basically discussed it, I think it was part of a crossover Superman. Yeah, and then Stealth basically continue thinks basically that, well, I should have a name. Yeah, and then of course basically thinks, oh yeah, if he's lying, she's like, I'll kill you again. Because she killed him before, right after she raped him. When she randomly went into heat mode. Yeah. And they have a new member, Gigantics. Everyone just laughs at this. Lobo just does what Lobo does. Yeah, Sin Lobo. And then, of course, basically you have his son basically talking normally after he leaves. It's like, I seem appalled by your decision managing approach. What does that woman honor your decisions? Give her a minor question. Let her think it's a major one. Now be quiet. I'll make a call. It's like more secrets from mommy. Yes, seriously. They have Stealth talking to Lady Quark. And of course, basically, we also have one member who's actually with another rock, another alien. Like there's a makeout session here, and of course, Docs is telling the guard, please inform if Stealth is coming, and the guard was stalking her, and then of course, basically, he's like. We have Viral just testing his son, figure out how the heck is this baby this intelligent for a baby. And he does bring up something in this issue here that was mentioned back in the Silver Age. Viral Docs was cloned from his father being the original Brainiac. Long-time Superman villain who only appeared in this book in flashbacks. By the way, you might be asking, when does Brainiac meet his grandson? He does not meet him till Rebels Volume 2 in the 2000s. In the late 2000s. That's when he finally meets his grandson. Does he know he has a grandson? I don't think he gives a damn. Yeah. You always I say that because basically the comics have never shown basically Brainiac had shown any emotion to his own offspring that he created. Yes. So would he like the fact that he has a continuation of his line? He might, but he's probably too busy absorbing planets to basically care. So. And it's like, and you have Dachshund crying, and like, I'm hungry. Then you have Quark basically just, come on, stop it here, thank you. Quark doing the whole thing, and then of course, Viral basically is like, and of course then of course basically, and then Docs and Stealth are fighting, and then of course the son speaks up. Stop. Please don't be hostile. It makes me anxious. What'd you do, Docs? Mommy, no! Yeah, and Stealth tries to strangle him! But don't worry, he's perfectly fine. Because he survives right after this. Yeah, he is perfectly fine. Yeah, no, I'm not kidding about that. He is perfectly fine. Yeah. So because Viro's son is so intelligent, he misses his mom, obviously. And this issue here is focused on frickin' Lobo. Well, then you have Stealth hitting another guy, despite the fact she has a baby with Docs. There's a bunch of stuff here. Quark does her own things, like... He's like, I told you there was an earthquake, cliff fell on him. Why did you claim his body burial? It's buried already. A prop burial. Couldn't find it. You tried? What do you think? Lady Quark. Beck and Marge aren't quite destroyed. He might believe killed Comet. Yes. Basically, he thinks that he thinks that she killed Captain Comet. Oh, don't worry, he's fine. I know because he's still alive in present day. So, and then of course he's being administrated. Of course, he's trying to do his own thing. It's like, he eats something. At least take a spit out. It's like, I've taken a little copy of files, Uncle Garen. Yeah, he throws to this guy who works for his father as uncle. And then he just ups and leaves him. Just lets him leave whatever he does. Then you have FaZe trying to stop Lobo. Just because. And then, of course, there's this weird ending where people are trying to fall into like a black hole. You're like, what? Yeah, that's kind of how Tennessee Pair ends the issue. And then we have issue 60, then we move on to 65. We're getting close to wrap this book up here. So, excuse me. We have people absorbed in this ship here. The book becomes weird on the Tennessee Player. Like, oh my gosh, this is so bizarre. Yeah. And there's stuff here with FaZe, which is basically held captive. Actually, it's Stealth. Yeah, FaZe the other girl. So, much more weirdness here. Moving on to 66, by the way, we're getting close to those. We're also going to discuss the annuals right after we talk about issue 70. And then we have the Mass Avenger fighting off against basically, well, some other person. By the way, the gray-looking alien is actually apparently a girl. And in this issue in particular, she finds out the Mass Avenger basically is a boyfriend, and then they get engaged, and then later on she quits Legion. Yeah, and then of course basically Viro takes his son to meet. Yeah, and then of course basically it's like one side. Beanhead, we don't get to talk. Hey, watch it, Lobo. Nobody's trying to get the main man. You want me for a job? He asked for it. It was my idea to sedate you, Lobo. What? I viewed your secret capacity for violence as an asset to reduce the core team. I feared your exhibitly could jeopardize what was essentially an undercover mission. Naturally, I agreed. On our docks, 2 doctors? Baby, come here. You might here saved my life. Oh, mother. Nice. Yeah. You're probably curious, when the heck does he get his name? And he goes like, Mom, it's something you should know. If you. For what? For naming the baby after the mother. So, it means so much to her. Well, thank you. But I didn't. Oh, someone tell us a son, or shall I say Larissa? Please, Mother, that's a girl's name. I'm calling myself Lyral Dox. After all, you had a whole year to name me, and I thought I would name honor Larissa's memory. That's an argument. Yep, this is where basically Lyral gets his name in issue 66 of the series. And then we have basically the Masked Man fighting off against basically, well, yeah. And stuff with Telepath and more underground stuff here. Like, looking for a man. His name is Gary, and I love him. I begin to find him. Strata. Yep. And this is where basically he asks Strata to marry him, and she says yes. And that was 66, mind you. Moving on to 67. This whole issue here is like, oh, Dark Quark. Yeah, basically Lady Quark goes nuts in this issue. Yep. Yeah, and then of course basically Strata wants Gary wants Strata to quit Legion, which she does in the last issue of the book. Yep. Oh yeah, and Gary ends up punching Docs again. Yep. And then of course Lyra throws a fit and goes see his godmother. Well, basically the baby named after basically his mother. And then for some weird reason, this scene here is set up for the relaunch under the name Rebels. So basically, she looks at a screen, and then she becomes hypnotized and tells herself to go back to quarters. Like Quark does her own thing. The baby turned up saying, "Gotta check me." You gotta check me. I guess this is lunch. Let's have lunch, then a nap. Come on. Then a nap until supper. We'll take the criminals over. Looking to you. This place where you run it? Don't you realize I was able to work this morning? Basically, we have a funeral. I'll wait inside the middle. We can spot some discipline around here. I need to not talk too far that way. No? Good. Yeah. Moving on to the third to last issue of L.E.G.I.O.N. Then we go to the alien planet where it looks like a two people are fighting, of course. By the way, also Lyra gets more power, and throughout the whole book and starts hypnotizing people. Versus Lyra and a few other people here. Yeah, this is where basically we start the plans for the for the relaunch of this book. And then of course you have lines like, "Am I in Charon? Yes. You're with the Legion, right? I'm looking at a woman, average height, slightly built, very beautiful, tangible, sound familiar? Oh, you mean Deputy Phase? He's made headquarters, about 40 minutes that way. I suppose they parked the bubble here. Tell her Jonah is here. End of Legion." Yep, now we're in the, basically we have where, oh, we have Tom Pair, no longer Tennessee Pair. It's weird. On the cover it says Tom Pair. In the book it's under the name Tennessee Pair. Basically it's Tom Pair. Excuse me. Yeah, so someone looking for Phase is like, quitting too, yeah. So more brainwashing here. People of Legion by Lyral Docs, and then Viral Docs, the one who basically is the main character of the book. He's accused by Lady Quark of brainwashing her, despite the fact that was not him. It was actually his son who did it. And then the book ends with this, where Viral is publicly announcing his son's reciprocal authority, and people are laughing. Leading into the final issue of this series before its relaunch under the name Rebels. And it's basically 0 hour stuff. Come on, thank you. Yeah. So for this last issue here is basically Legion about to go on the run. Kind of, anyways. Members of Legion, basically, we have Viral doing his own thing. His son do his own thing. Basically, it's kind of think of this as more set up for the relaunch, and it leads into Rebels 94. But before it gets to that, let's talk about the last 2 annuals of the series. Yep, annuals 4 and 5. 4 is part of the crossover Bloodlines. Introduced the character Hellwar, which I think this was his sole appearance he made in comics. Yeah. This one's written by Mark Waid. I think this was his last annual. The only annual he wrote for this series. He wrote much for the series. So, mostly put is basically what the team was up to. So we have a new character who shows up here, who doesn't do anything at all. That's kind of what this book is. Just new character and do nothing with him afterwards. I don't know what the plan was for this Legion annual. It's got good artwork though. It just, stuff happens. It's blood ties. Leads into blood tie stuff. And then, come on. No. No. Thank you. The final annual itself, basically, it's a spoof book. Legion 007. It's an Elseworlds book. Yep. Where the opening, one page here is a clear parody of the gun barrel from the James Bond movies. Yep. Yep. It's the first parody of James Bond, called The Man from, and then we parody, and it's like The Spy Who Fragged Me, which that was also the name of an actual, well, actually was the name of a couple of movies. One's called The Spy Who Loved Me, and there was one Spy Who Shagged Me. This is Frag. It's a Lobo story. It's basically Lobo poking fun of Man from Uncle. With this one. That's literally what this one is. It's poking fun of Man from Uncle. And then we have Legion Archives, which is basically a spoof of the debut of Legion superheroes, where the founding members of this team are Brainiac 2, aka Viral Docs, Telepath, and Silent Girl, basically Telepath. It is mostly a parody of the first appearance of Legion superheroes, which was the inspiration for Legion. And then we have please. Thank you. Legion 90210, which is a spoof of Beverly's 90210. Yep, that's literally what the story is. It's a spoof of it, and just an excuse to draw the female characters in bikinis. And then we have Legion by Gaslight, which is simply put basically Tom Payer doing a Legion parody of Gotham by Gaslight. Yep. And then the last story is basically just a spoof of Batman's debut. Yep. Oh yeah, and there's also rejects of Savage Sword of Legion the Barbarian, Legion Dawn, which is a spoof of Emerald Dawn from Green Lantern. The Legion is the Savage Sword of Legion the Barbarian. That's a spoof of Conan the Barbarian. Then we have Salmon 84, obviously basically Legion spoof. Batman Legion of the Dark Knight, Green Lantern, Green Legion, where this page is a clear nod to one of Nick Adams' most famous covers. I think it was issue 85, I think it was. It's a very popular cover. It's been spoofed a few times over the years. Then we have The Sound of Legion, which is a take on Sound of Music, one of my mom's movies. They have Orphans of Space. Then we have Legion Blue, which is taking NYPD Blue, Newsboy Legion, Newsboys, and that's it. That's Legion for you. Excellent book. Yeah, because basically now we're on the final thoughts before I talk about Rebels issue 0. The Legion series is fantastic. I kind of wish basically more of this series wasn't collected. The only thing has been collected is I think it was A number 1. Yeah, it was A number 1, and the last 2 issues of the series are collected. Is the rest in trade? No. Don't know the reason for that. It's kind of weird, but I give Legion issues 59 to 62 and 64 to 70, along with issues 4 and 5, a 9 out of 10. Also discuss issue 0 of Rebels, purely because it's the relaunch. Star Tennessee Pair, basically, well, the Legion on the run because basically Lyral Docs take over the organization. So found members on the run, and it's them trying to take down the Legion organization, the organization that Valor founded. Basically, this is just a reestablishing of the continuity, just keeping stuff canon, while also being set up for the Rebels book, which will last 18 issues before it's canceled. But that's pretty much basically Rebels. Next up we have is now, main reason why I decided to do a few more issues of Valor is because, well, the main reason why because I just wanted to continue with the series. Excuse me. Last issue is issue 19, so we're just going to do 2 more issues of the book, just 2. Start issue 20. This is done by Mark Waid. This is mostly put just Valor. By the way, the book is this issue here on the cover says Wade, but this is actually this is 2-part called Sudden Overtime. Written by Kurt Busiek, art by Colleen Dorn. I just met her just a couple of days ago. Awesome lady. So we just have Valor dealing with fighting Dominators, more stuff with Legion. Yeah, so we also have Wayrider randomly show up in this book. We have more weird sci-fi stuff here that Valor is getting involved with, of course. And then moving on to issue 21. Yeah, basically discussing just a couple issues here. Issue 21 is basically just,
I'd say insane.
Sorry about that. The cover says Wade, but he is not the writer of the book. Nope, it's still Kurt Busiek. Yeah, this is mostly put just him taking this alien species, a bunch of warriors. And then we have a bunch of Mon-Els here, Wave Riders dealing with this up. It's basically a lot of setup for the end of the series with 0 Hour. We also have a woman who's... Come on, seriously. I hate when they do that. Yeah. Yeah, so... we see his love interest in the book, where she just goes off, and then this leads into end of an era. But we're not done just yet. We still have one more book to discuss here. But you know what? I think I probably would save that for. Come on, stop it. Thank you. I think I'll save it for later. I've been talking for 30 minutes, so I should probably save for another Comic Corner, okay? Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Particular video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications. I'll do Power Company, another Comic Corner, but probably do with some other book, okay? Good to see you. Bye.